Hey everybody, how you doing? It's spring. We made it. We made it to spring. We made it. If you're hearing my voice, you've made it through COVID, um, and you made it through a terribly cold, uncomfortable winter. Um, I want to talk about something today that really is close to my heart, and that is Asian hate. I'm sure most of you know that my daughter is Chinese and was adopted from China. I mean, she's American. She's still Chinese descent, obviously, but considered Chinese American. I took her to the airport yesterday. She had to go spend spring break with her dad. She's a senior in high school. So I took her to the airport yesterday and we talked about it. And I'm like, well, first of all, she's in a very diverse school. There are a lot of other Asians there. There are a lot of Indian from India kids there. And the reason that this is because the school is actually, it's a charter school, but it's actually considered one of the most challenging high schools in the country. And so these are local kids, but they're mostly, you know, I mean, it's a tough school, so you've got to be smart to go there. If your grades, I mean, if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. But anyway, that being the case, there are a lot. She goes to school with a huge diversity of children. So she doesn't have any problem at school. I mean, that just wouldn't be cool. The kids there get it, even though in this conservative little area in Indiana, most of their parents are Republican, which is why Chloe wants to get out of here. So anyway, I asked her, have you experienced, you know about this, right? She said yes. And I said, have you experienced anything like that ever? And she said no. And I said, well, if you do, I want to know about it. Because Mama Bear will go on the warpath. Anyway, this has been exacerbated by Donald Trump. I try to be quiet because my husband's upstairs. And he doesn't need to hear this. But it has been exacerbated by Donald Trump and the Wuhan virus and all this bullshit. You know, sorry for my French. I don't know. I'm sure I've told you this, but in my house when I was growing up, we didn't talk about people like that. We didn't. I mean, if we would have said the N-word at my house when I was growing up, or some other kind of derogatory racial term, it just would not have gone over well at all. And that's just the way I learned things. And my parents weren't perfect, but I'm pretty proud of them about that. I'm happy to say that you know, our family wasn't racist. Privileged, yeah, we're privileged because we were white, you know, but we weren't racist, and we noticed and we were aware that we were privileged, and we were aware that other people, if they weren't white, didn't have the privileges that we had or the opportunities, and that they were kept down because of their skin color, and that it wasn't okay. I once asked my mother how it was that, I mean, I'm talking about this was in the 60s, okay? How come, you know, because we never had new cars. we were a regular middle-class family. Our house was paid for, but we didn't drive new cars. And both my parents worked. Dad thought that was crazy to buy a new car because, the minute you drive it off the lot. And plus, my dad owned gas stations, so he always got good deals on good used cars. So that's what we drove. But I would ask my mother, why? Well, okay, like every time I see so many black people driving around in these beautiful cars. And my mother said, well, that's because there are so many neighborhoods where they're not allowed to live. So they have the money to spend on these new cars. And, and I'm sure she said, if they were allowed to live wherever they wanted to, they probably would be just like us, living in, a middle-class neighborhood and driving a car like we are. So, and I hope that doesn't sound racist. That's just the way my mother explained it to me. And after that, I've listened how black people were, when they would want to look at a certain house, that they wouldn't be shown that house because it was in a neighborhood where they weren't wanted, which is just not right. But it's been going on for years. Or they wouldn't get loans, or their loans would be different just because they were black. And I'm so sick of this racism. It's just like that Charlottesville deal where those idiots are walking around, Jews will not replace us, Jews will not replace us. Well, I don't know why they're worrying about Jews replacing us. What's really happening is that, and I've been looking forward to this my whole life, is that more people are becoming more tolerant. At least people that I know are. It just seems like such a divide. But that, there's a lot more interracial families. And once there are interracial families, people have a tendency to learn acceptance. At least I hope that's the case. So, anyway, I've been hoping and wishing for that day to come for a long time, and now there's Asian hate. Hey, Asian hate's been around for a long time. I remember the racism that happened over the Vietnam War. And I understand why that was. I don't know we shouldn't have been there, period. Period, we should not have been there. We shouldn't be a lot of places. If we took our money, and instead of being a war machine, because, most of our money goes to war, or the people involved with war, the contractors, the equipment that's just left there when we leave. We could really be a kick-ass society if we weren't always out trying to kill people. We could have the coolest, fastest rail system. We could have all new airports. We could have all new airplanes. We could have so much nice stuff if we were spending all our money on a war machine. That's just the way I see it. So, anyway, I want to read on Asian hate first because I don't know why I read on it. I hate it. I know that Trump has perpetuated it. Oh my God, you guys! What we have to read on first, though, is that Trump very shortly is going to be back on the social media scene because he's setting up his own platform. I wonder what that's going to be called. And they're expecting tens of millions of people to join. It's going to be like Facebook for Trumpers. Let's do that. How is that gonna go over? The Trump social media platform. Yeah, it's like we don't want you on Twitter, we don't want you on Facebook, we don't want you on Instagram. Well, hell with you guys. I'll go start my own platform, and that's what he's doing, just so he can get his ugly words out. Spirit, can you tell us about Trump's new social media platform and how that's going to go over? Will it be successful? God, it's going to be ugly. Trump's new social media platform. Trump's new social media platform. Trump's new, where he will go on and, talk about Asian hate and every other kind of ugly scenario. Spirit, can you tell us about Trump's new social media platform? I'm not joining it. The FBI needs to be in there, though, so they know what's going on, but I'm not joining it. Spirit, can you tell us about Trump's new social media platform? I'm really curious about this. Social media platform. All right, I cut it. Sorry, I meant to show you that I cut it, but I went ahead. Let's see here. Well, the Page of Cups is reversed, and it crosses the Two of Cups, which is also reversed. So this is Page of Cups, but it's an instability or an overturning of something that's just coming into fruition. I don't know if this is going to work, you guys. We got the Two of Cups upside down, so this is, again, violent passion and instability. It's a kind of like a false love. Yeah, this doesn't look good for him. Because you know why? He's out in the cold. They kicked him out. This is a situation where this building represents an institution. So consider being, I hate this card because it's wolves, but consider you've got your institution here and you've been expelled, like from a school, or you've been expelled from church. Okay, well, now think about it. This is Twitter and Facebook, and Trump's been kicked out. This is the basis of the reading, and this is why it's happening. And behind him, this is a stalemate. So this is what he's looking at in his rearview mirror. A temporary truce, only because he's been kicked out, so he couldn't say anything. So he's just like resting on his laurels, It's about information. Swords are information and truth, and right now it's a stalemate because he's not allowed on social media. But soon, this is another a Page of Wands, a message. Okay. Maybe not a good message because we've got the Queen of Swords and it's reversed. So this is artifice and lies and narrow-minded intolerance and bigotry. That's what this is all going to be about. Surprised? I'm not. Queen of Swords, smothering, insecurity, addictions. This is not reversed. This card is not good. The id, the interior forces, what someone thinks inside of themselves, subconsciously, possibly. In this case, is the King of Pentacles reversed. So this is Trump in his jealousy. This is the a perverse use of his talents, and it's the gambler, the speculator, the con guy. That's who this is. That's Trump. And the ego, the external forces, or what other people think. Thoughts coming from the outside is temperance, but it's reversed. So in this case, temperance reversed, bad combinations and competing interest in it's unfortunate combinations. So competing interest in the business and personal. That's what we think. We think it's a bad combination. Temperance reversed. Disruptive energy, chaos, and excess, which is his whole plan. It's his whole plan. That's what we think. We think that this is going to be disruptive and non-productive and bad for our country. His hopes and wishes, one thing, money. That's all he wants out of this. He wants gold, prosperity, and wealth, because Trump is a dung beetle. I mean, really, he is. But he is a greedy bastard, and he wants money, and that's the whole reason he keeps doing it. Because he can. If he has his own social media platform, yeah, he's going to get money from people. And there's some kind of an agreement coming up. This is the final outcome. The Lover's card. Deals and contracts. Well, that's happening. What kind of an impact it's going to have on our society, yet to be determined, but it's happening. He's going to get this up and running. Let's look again. What kind of impact? What kind of impact is Trump's social media company going to have on our society? That's what we want to know. What kind of impact will Trump's social media network have on our society? Will it be positive? Will it be negative? Will people flock to it? What kind of impact? What kind of impact will Trump's social media platform have on our society? Spirit, can you tell us what kind of impact Trump's social media company will have on our society? I'm using the Animal Spirit Tarot. Animal Totem Tarot from Lisa Robinson. The natural world has so much to teach us, and I always kind of lean towards the animals because they're so in tune with the natural world. Knight of Cups crosses the Six of Wands. Below, here's the dung beetle again, reversed. Behind the Page of Swords. Above is the Eight of Wands, reversed. In the future, Five of Cups. This is bad. The Emperor is the internal forces. Ten of Cups is the external forces. And the Knight of Swords, reversed, is in the hopes and wishes position. The final outcome is the Hangman. Maybe this thing will be hung up for a while. Maybe there'll be a way to hang it up. Okay, the Knight of Cups is somebody coming with an offering. And it crosses the Six of Wands reverse, which is no victory ride, okay? This is delay reversed. This is an offering. The Ace of Pentacles reversed is greed. So that's the basis for this whole thing, is greed, like I said before. This is behind is the Spy card. Okay, the Page of Swords. Vigilance and spying. The crowning card is the Eight of Wands, and it's reversed. So this is jealousy and domestic disputes and quarrels. I mean, right side up, this could be the arrows of love. This could be something happening quickly, but it's reversed. So the Eight of Wands reversed. Can also mean liberation or freedom, which could be, him being released from having his pretty much, gag order that was enforced by Facebook and Twitter. But look, you guys, in the near future is the Sorrow card. 3 cups spilled, but 2 left over. And this is grieving. This is regret, loss, rejection. It's feeling abandoned or unloved. It can also be shame. That's the future. This is, the id, or the internal feelings, the feelings of the person, is the Emperor card. And he feels like, he's a strategic leader and a father figure. That's how Trump sees himself. And he has followers that love him, that feel like they're family. Okay? They, actually really love him. But hopes and fears position, we have the Knight of Swords, and it's reversed. So this is a cruel person. This is cruelty. So, the Asian hate thing that I was talking about earlier, and the racism, it's not going to stop. And this is going to make it worse. So all the hate remains as it is. This crap of him doing this kind of thing and calling people names and giving them ideas of, it's all the Chinese fault or whatever. It's all Chinese. It's the Chinese did this. No, Trump did it. You know what? If he would have acted so much differently, he could have had that all done over with by June of the last year. And he knew it. He knew it was going to kill people. But what did he do? He did nothing. That's what's going to continue to happen if he has his own social media platform. He's going to continue to have to stoke hate. So, something else I want to tell you guys about, because I've been reading about it, and then I'm going to jump off, but this is a warning that, and I guess you guys know that Lady Gaga got her dog stolen. She got him back, but her dog walker was actually shot. So what people are doing is that they are stealing dogs, especially French bulldogs, because French bulldogs, if they're gray or what, they can cost up to $10,000. Can you imagine? Really? Anyway, people are stealing dogs right out of their yards. And I read where one girl, her dog went missing. He wasn't even a full-bred dog. think he was an Akita mix. And the dog wandered to the neighbor's house. The neighbors saw it happen. They saw two men pick up the dogs, and they said, we'll hit the owner for the reward. They're just doing it for the money, or they're selling the dogs. So, you know, if you're going to get a new puppy, I'm not going to do it to my dog. She's 12 years old. She ain't going anywhere. But, yeah, because like I was reading, somebody was walking down the street. They had their 8-year-old dog, and they had their new puppy. And so the lady was punched in the face several times, and they took the puppy. They didn't take the old dog. They took the puppy. When you get a puppy, get a GPS put into that puppy. And what it takes is, I think it's like a $40 chip. You have to pay for the chip. It's inserted by a tech into the dog, probably in the back of his neck. And then you have a subscription to monitor that chip. Let me tell you a story. Once I was swimming at night on a beach, Palm Beach, actually. And it was nighttime, and you know, we were in the ocean. There were several of us, which I would never do again because I'm so afraid of sharks. But somebody stole my cooler, which was my favorite cooler, but it had my iPhone in it. And so, I mean, really? So anyway, I had an iPad with me. God, there wasn't any internet where I was or anything like that, but I got the iPhone. I picked up the iPhone on, because I find my phone, right? And so I got the cops, and I went over and sat in front of these people's house, and it was like way away from Palm Beach. But, I mean, I had the address. It showed a picture of the house on my iPad. And so I went over to that house, and it was kind of a shady neighborhood, obviously not Palm Beach. And I called the cops, and the cops came, and they went and got my phone. Okay, this is just find your dog. Get your dog GPS chipped, because they're out there. They're out there just to get the reward, or they're selling the dog. So, and you know what else? Dog theft isn't. I mean, you might get if somebody is I gotta go here pretty quick, but I just want to tell you this: if somebody is convicted of dog theft, they get a $50 fine. Really? If you shoot somebody's dog, it's a misdemeanor. So, get your dog GPSed. Go out there and buy a new puppy, or if you have a new puppy, if your dog has to be, it's probably painful to have that done. So if there's any reason you have to have your dog anesthetized for any reason, that's the time to do it. Teeth cleaning, get a chip. You know, being spayed or neutered, get a chip. That's the time to get your dog a GPS chip. And I'm just thinking this is a great stock tip because this is going to be the thing, is to get your dog chipped. So anyway, I have to get back to my eBay stuff. And by the way, happy spring. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm not going to be able to go outside because I got too much other stuff to do. But Trump and his social media platform. Hey, you guys, write down below what you think it's going to be called. Trump. It'll be Trump something. Trumpville. I'm going to be thinking about this too. So think about, what is this horrible man going to come up with next? Anyway, I love you. Hit the like, the bell, so you know when I'm coming on. Leave comments, and I'll try to be back as soon as I can. Thanks so much. Bye.